All right, guys, we are live. I want to welcome everybody to the episode. What is this? Episode 30
True.
of
Labor
Think
Day.
Tank.
I like it.
30.
The Labor Day Think Tank group.
Gonna do a short show today, guys. So we just didn't want to leave you high and dry.
Just something real quick.
Definitely. All right, so you guys want to go around the room, y'all two, introduce yourselves, all that good stuff.
Ryan, RPS Dent Repair out of Baltimore.
David, Windy City Dent Repair, Chicago.
And Chris Devil's Touch, Washington, D.C. area. Guys, I'll probably be looking this way and not looking at the camera, so just bear with me. I do have a second camera over here that is just not working, so as I try to weed through those problems, I'll try my best to look right at the camera at you guys. So, as we always do, we're going to start the show with some tools. What we got?
All right, so I think we've gone over the set, but I actually used this on Friday. And I've used it all the time, but it's probably one of my favorite tools out of that set.
Right.
Which is that hook tool set from Dentcraft, black handle.
Like that size the best.
This exact one stays in my bag.
Yeah,
never leaves. I mean, it gets in those little holes for like where the handles are.
Or right up top with the belt molding.
Exactly. I mean, the strength of this thing, it's super stiff, super strong. It's an awesome tool. So that kit has got to be in your arsenal. It's that hook tool kit from Dentcraft. It's not real expensive, but you will use almost every one of those hooks.
Yeah, I do like that one a lot. So I was using that one for the most part, but then I replaced it with that CarePoint tool.
You were, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The one that I showed Chris, I think he did a review on them. On his show or on his channel. So I replaced that specific black handle with the CarePoint one.
That's the one with it's kind of that bent and the ratcheting end.
Yeah, but the ratchet hand, that's the best part. That has strength and rigidity. I do like that. But sometimes when you are up top in that belt molding, you do need that like
extra leverage.
Yeah. But no, that is a great tool.
So the second thing that I'm bringing on that I actually used for the first time, Endeavor Tools window bar.
You know, I could have used that.
That's nice.
So I was always using this thing with I was using the Carbon Tech one that has the full rod across the top that you can one-hand it.
Right.
You know, you've got all those other ones that are kind of, I wouldn't say saggy, but they're not, there's no strength, no, rigidity here. So you put it up there, you got to use two hands. This one you don't. So it's very comparative to the Carbon Tech one. The quality's awesome. This was his plastic version because he knows that most of my stuff is all black. But this thing is awesome. No flex, no give. I like how it locks in the windows.
I like the one-handed part because sometimes you're trying to move a rod around or slide that thing left and right with the rod still because you don't want it resting on the headliner or something.
And the thing I liked about this, it slides in that gasket. So if you need to slide it down on that door, it slid really nice inside there. I don't know if it's because it's like a seatbelt material up here, and the nylon. It gives really good grip up here. No sliding of the tool.
I need to grab me one of those.
So
definitely.
This thing, Chad knocked it out of the park again. Endeavor Tools, his hatch bar and this bar, I have no complaints. I mean, I'm gonna put it.
I could have definitely used that recently.
I got 2 roofs and a couple hail jobs this week, so I'm gonna put this thing in the works again and see what we get out of it. So get yourself one. They're not real expensive. They're very competitive with the rest of the bars in the market, as in the the adjustability of it. This comes all the way out. So if you have to store it, like I do in my truck, I store it all together. Nice. So but check it out. It's awesome. Endeavor Tools. Go for it, Dave.
I don't have anything.
Dave?
I did not run to the truck today once. I was enjoying the Labor Day weekend, and I didn't come with any tools. I haven't bought anything lately. I mean, there's just nothing that I've actually like. I need that, but I think a big tool order is an order. I think going into winter.
Yeah,
because I do want to start doing some reviews on some of this newer stuff that's coming up.
Yeah, I think the Reaper is what everybody's talking about. So I'm going ahead and order that tool.
I think I need a full order to come in. I've actually been using lately the Swiss Blue glue that I got from MTE because I ran out of the green.
And you're using it in heat? That stuff's supposed to be for cold weather.
It is supposed to be for cold weather, and I've been using it in humid conditions, and it's been working. It's been getting me by, but it's definitely not ideal. It's just I last minute ran out of the green. This is all I had left in the truck. So a big tool order is going to be in place and more green glue.
I'll tell you, I've been using the black Hog Glue. So the Hog Glue comes with the orange and the black.
Okay.
The black's working really good in high humidity. It's very competitive with the Dent Out Red because it's been 100 and some degrees here in Maryland lately. So but it's been working really, really well.
Yeah, I switched back to the Dent Out Red. That's been pretty good outside of the green.
I've been using 2 guns lately. So 2 glue guns running every day. I put a 6 amp hour battery on there and let it burn in between the green and the black Hog or the Dent Out Red. And if something doesn't pull, I just kind of switch it. It's been working really well. Tech tip, by the way.
Well, let me show you what I have. So I'll start with the small thing. Well, first thing, guys, if you guys are watching, go ahead and give us a thumbs up if you can. And we just set up a newsletter. So if you go to the description, you can actually sign up for our newsletter. We'll be coming up with little videos and little tool reviews, some literature, some PDFs, and all that good stuff. So just go ahead and sign up for that. It's the PDR newsletter. We'll go over different models of manufactured cars that are coming out and stuff like that. Just overall news, that you can read through while you're, doing your morning duties and have some information in the industry. So definitely sign up for that. But this little thing, granted, guys, I got like 4 technicians, so it's something simple where I get these things on Amazon. I've worked with a lot of people, and they get the they use just the regular kind of spray, like pump sprayer, I guess, and it just puts out too much alcohol. So this is just an alcohol sprayer, but you get these things for like 10 cents. I've filled this thing up probably about once every 2 months. So it never leaks. If it does, it's only 10 cents. So you get them from like CVS.
A quick little tip for those, you can throw a magnet inside of them.
There you go. And they stick to the ground.
Exactly.
Well, I got a magnet and it's going in there tonight.
Yep, got a nice little magnet in there.
So yeah, so there you go. That's a quick tip. But these things are nice. I mean, I like it too that if I just throw them in my my little tool bag, my toolbox, and if they puncture or burst, I only fill them up about halfway. And if they burst, it doesn't spill out all of my alcohol, and then my big container of alcohol, which I just use 90%, is just kind of stored away for the fill-ups. So 10 or 20 cent, you get them from CVS and stuff. So that's that. So this is like my favorite tool. I did upgrade this tool because I ran the smaller thread, like the old version. But this is the Ultra Dent Tools. Part number is ST3802. So that is a double bend. It's about a 24-inch double bend.
Is that a half-inch shaft?
No, it's smaller than a half-inch. It will go inside of a half-inch hole.
Okay.
So and I'm a big fan of the Ultra Dent Tools push cap, the little black caps that they run. You can get them relatively cheap from like a third party or even them. It's not that expensive from them. But if you notice here, I'm just going to show you guys something. This is what I believe Dentcraft needs to work on. But if you see that,
yes,
that is a problem. It needs to be tapered in just a little bit more.
Yep.
And this is the R4 tip. I do not use this tip as much as I think Dave uses it. Dave, Does this actually go into a half inch hole, or is it real tight?
Typically, no.
So
typically, no.
So yeah, so my friend has a lathe. So what I'll probably do is just either grind that down or put it on a lathe. But anyway, this is the one problem with tools. This is why we bring these tools on, because we're starting to show that you don't see this, but see the difference. This won't go in a half inch hole, but this will. So if you get the matching tip, now you can actually put it in a half inch hole.
Yeah.
And I'm not a guy that drills a lot, but most of the holes that that are kind of in the quarter panel, like behind the tail light, are half inch.
Yeah. Or in the handle, a lot of the handle holes.
Or the handle holes. So there you go. You pretty much can't use this tip. So I'm a big stickler. If you can't use a tip, why learn on the tip? Why even, have the tip?
But you can put the ultra push cap tip on there, and that will fit.
Yeah.
Right. So if Dentcraft, if they're listening, I would machine this down just a hair, and then that way it can go into a half inch hole, and it will basically be better for multiple
uses of that
tools,
tip.
Yeah, of that tip. Because this is a good tip. Now I don't put the cherry tip on. I rarely work it with the cherry tip. Maybe I'm just not as skilled with the cherry tip, but I fix it like this with tape around it. So that's kind of, or like this.
I use the crap out of the R4, but I have been using that ultra tip. It's actually not the one that I have. It's not an ultra tip. It's the one that came with the Carbon Tech rod, which is that smaller cylinder that fits nicer on there, just like you're saying. So good tip on that though.
Yeah, definitely. Dave's just rolling them out. All right, so I know everybody's like a James Lee fan, and I really love his lights, but this stocky light has been.
Hold on. Are we gonna do the wall check?
I mean, I don't know about the wall check. Let me see. I think y'all can see this side. I don't know. This is. I mean, this is a pump, but that's 2 pumps. How hard is that? That's 2 pumps. Y'all saw that.
Yeah.
And it's on the wall.
2 pump chumps.
2 pump
chumps.
So okay, all right. So I get to pump this, but this is light. I'm gonna tell you one of the issues that I have with the limited and why this one is different, right? So the limited light, I don't have the new one, so I'm not referencing the new one. Brian has the new one, but this is so light, and it's on the kind of on the right or the left. Well, you can flip it. I wouldn't put it on the middle. This one makes the advantage of this light. I put it on the end. So because I'm mounting on the end, you see, right? Let me show you guys this. You see how you don't have those little, what do they call these things? The little mounts with the screws in it. What are they?
The lock line lock.
The lock lines. It doesn't need a lock line. The James Lee light is so heavy it needs the lock line. And I don't know about you, but I found a month as I try to, tighten it up to give me that right leverage. If I'm sitting here. This is what I'm sorry.
But he came out with those collars for that lock line.
Here's the thing. If I'm sitting here and I'm moving the light, it's done. When I tighten up the O-trip, it's kind of
or the Illuminate,
I mean the Illuminate, I'm sorry. You kind of have to force it, and then this kind of pops off, and
I can say it doesn't work. Stucky probably has the best fade.
It does. I can show you
have an amazing fade.
I don't know if you guys can probably pick this up.
Put it out.
Yeah.
But he does have a really, really good fade.
Well, anyway, the battery lasts the same. I've had a bunch of batteries go bad in me, and it's not a Limited's fault. This is more of the Makitas that I use. Maybe Milwaukee's way better. I don't know. But then, it gives you a little icon of how much battery you have left.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then it has a USB charger just like everyone else. And it, like I said, I don't use those types of features, so it's not something of, it's nice to have, don't get me wrong, but I just like it because it's easy.
Does it come with one battery?
He said it has one battery, yes. And this is not the same battery that goes into the glue gun, which I thought was the same. That would be pretty hot. But I don't know. But let's see.
And he came up with his own suction cup too, correct?
You know, I always say people came up with stuff, and I don't really know, but it has its stickers on it. It's definitely different than anything I've seen. Even the rubber, kind of mounting point is different. The suction is different, but it's two pumps, and you're stuck on the car.
Okay.
I don't know. I've played around with it with my other light. Now, also, I lost my original board for the limited light. So I have a fade board from like Dave. What is the name of the guy? 3D
David.
boards.
Brandon David.
Brandon David, and I think A1 now sells the boards or whatever. And I just found my eyes just. In the beginning, it was fine. I was like, "Oh, these boards are great. You can see more." And now I'm having a hard time seeing through those colored boards.
So am I.
So I'm switched back, and this has nothing to do with a limited or Stucky. But I switched back to their natural kind of lens now. I cannot run those color lenses anymore. All my guys, I'm telling them the issues that I have, so then that way they can be aware of it. They say they still like them, but they go and grab my light when I'm in the area. So that right there tells you something. But the movability of this light is way better than the limited light. If I bring this up to you, Ryan, you're gonna be like, wow, this thing is beast. It does need that new limited,
well, he does
stick on.
I spoke to him at MTE. You can get that attachment. You can get the vac attachment on there, and it'll work with a DeWalt battery.
Ah, okay, yeah.
But the price point is almost $700, so it's like $600 and some change. So,
and I believe this is a. I believe this one is a. There you go. I believe this one is like 550 or something.
Yeah.
And it's an 18-inch, I believe, maybe 20.
And that's why I have a James Lee light.
No, man. Tell you, it's kind of like a board. If you ever use a board, you can always.
There's a couple other techs here that do have them. I've seen them in person, but for me, it's just having the usability of the Makita battery and every other,
of course,
accessory that I have. It doesn't warrant buying a completely different light that doesn't hook up to anything that I have.
Yes,
so that's why I like the portability of James Lee's with just the battery power alone, because my buffer uses it, just everything else that I use.
I did use Benny's when he came in town for some training, and I did use Benny's, and I did like it, but I'm with Dave. The convenient part of carrying one group of batteries, and that's it.
Yeah.
And listen, I have like 7 of limited lights, so it's just the first Stucky, and this is what I go to. That's just what it is. You'll see it in a lot more videos, guys. So I am not afraid to pull this light out with big giant dents. Normally, I would say, hey, I just need me a bigger light. I just work the job a lot faster. But I did I don't know, 18, 19-inch dent.
Fade's different.
The fade is beautiful in this light. So, and the only reason why I didn't use this light to finish that dent was because I have the Makita kind of Medusa with the what is it? The stand.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work with this. So what I'm getting is a claw to grab the bottom, and then now I can move the light on the stand, and I'll probably order another one of those. I wish he had a bigger one though.
I think he's coming out with a hail light.
Oh, okay. It might use the same battery as the glue gun. But the glue gun is a stout battery. It'll last all day, and it has that wide base. But you guys will see it when I finish it.
So
all right, guys.
Topic is every dent repairable.
Yes.
What do you got? What were you cooking up, Chris, before the show?
Well, we were going over some pictures. Well, thanks to you, Dave. We were going over some pictures of some jobs that we kicked, some jobs that what we call, we didn't repair, and then some jobs that we did repair. So we're going to kind of go over this. Some of these pictures. Yep. I'm trying to think right now. Benny, you do have my cell phone number, so if you want to send a picture in, I can quickly put it up too. I have not been able to get that Skype thing to work, guys, to get you guys on the show. So Let's start with the first picture. Or do we have any questions here?
Nope, they're talking about the Reaper.
Ah, yeah. All right, so let's start with the first picture here.
What do you got?
All right. Hold on, I gotta get the screen right. The screen share. Application. There we go. All right. What do we got here? So this is from Dave. And Dave, this is fixable. Did you fix this?
They did not end up going choosing Windy City Dent Repair.
Okay.
But we were 100% confident in the entire repair.
So you really haven't fixed this. So you don't. I won't say you don't know. I mean, you obviously
no, but it is. That year, make, and model, and knowing the access of the vehicle, it is repairable.
What year? It's a ML, right?
Yeah, it was a. If I'm gonna be mistaken, so I'm not even gonna.
It's like it's
remember
like a
what it was.
14.
I remember when quoting it because they wouldn't have gotten a quote if we weren't confident in that repair. And just knowing that year, make, and model, we knew we could go ahead and fix it.
Gotcha. So you would not have had to make any access hole in the quarter
No, that interior panel all pulls out.
Okay.
So that
so you can get a tool to everything.
The whole interior, yeah.
Okay. Perfect. I know the lights give you some decent access, I believe. All right, so we'll go on to the next one. Oops, I should have hit.
It's a nasty dent, Dave.
Yeah. It's always specializing.
The nasties.
All right, well, I remember this, dude. That is epic.
That was fun.
That? Yeah.
Porsche.
So that's a Porsche quarter panel, guys. Was it a convertible?
Correct.
It looks like a convertible with this piece right here. So this was a convertible Porsche. Dave, how did you get access to this dent?
There was one access hole.
Where's that? My mouse clicker right here. Show me where it was at.
So it was up. It's actually not in the photo. But when this convertible is open, there's one drain hole that allows you to gain access to that entire quarter panel.
Wow.
I believe there's maybe two. There's one in the back, I think, and one in the front. So there's two drain holes up top that allowed for a 1/2-inch tool to get through. But it was a lot of glue pulling.
That was with the top down, correct?
Top up.
Top up,
so,
yeah.
So sitting up.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So what you did was basically put the top up halfway.
Correct.
Let the back piece kind of opened up as if it was either letting the top
in
up
the middle
or
of
down.
Opening or closing, correct. Yeah.
Right. And then which would be
there was two holes in that sill, kind of where your mouse is right now. That opens up, and then there's a sill in there, and there was two access holes that allowed to gain to that quarter panel.
Well, even a video you used a lot of with that one.
Zero access through the taillight, and zero access through even the door jamb, the locking mechanism. Zero access through that as well.
So David asked a question: Was it tight once you got access inside that quarter panel?
It wasn't. I mean, it was. I think I used the double bend, kind of like the tool that you had shown previously. That ultra double bend. It was something along those lines that I was able to get through that entire quarter.
Nice. You used a lot of glue, right?
A lot. But so where it's at right now in this photo, the customer had already tried to pull on it, which is why it's not one smooth dent and it's pulled in a couple spots. They had tried to use an at-home glue puller.
Yeah, pops the dent, baby.
It pops the dent, whatever it was, and that's the result of that. So we were fighting someone's previous work, pretty much creating tension in spots that wouldn't allow that entire quarter panel to glue pull well.
All right. So we have one more. Well, not one more. We have a bunch more, actually. What about this one? Now, the picture is so close, I can't even tell what kind of car it is. So you definitely have to explain that one.
It was a 2017 Porsche 911 Carrera or Cayman. I believe Cayman, right quarter panel on the body line.
Ugh.
Zero access. No access whatsoever. So sharp. I mean, glue pulling that is not going to happen. So we had to go and pass.
Wow. And I'm pretty sure the customer was like, it's such a small dent.
Exactly.
Correct. So it was at a shop that we do work with. I was there for maintenance, and they had asked us to come in and take a look at it. They had sent a couple photos, and I said we'd like to see it in person. So when it's here, let us know. We went and looked at it in person, and we gave the final decision of no, we're not going to be able to fix that.
What was it? Now, he sent you a bunch of photos, and, you know, I kind of know.
I wanted to see the car in person to see what the well was like. What is the taillight access like? It was a 2017, so it's a newer Porsche. And so seeing it in person would then give a definitive answer of yes or no, it is repairable or not.
Right. Because, I mean, the dent is repairable, right? If you got a tool behind it, it's repairable.
Correct. If there was a tool behind it,
this is just limited access on this one.
Correct.
All right, cool. All right. Let's see. Get another one. Okay. All right, guys. This thing is gotta click to get the screen share going here. All right, not repairable. To me, it looks repairable. What's going on with this?
So this is. I mean, I'm sure this is a Ryan Shutt masterpiece when he's finished with it. But this was a customer. They had sent photos, and we said for what they were looking for, we said it wasn't fixable due to the paint being damaged. So you can see with the scratches, the really, really deep scratches.
It's got some really sharp stuff, you know.
Really, really,
by the end, it's got some nasty, sharp stuff there. But
so yeah, we went ahead and said not fixable, just due to what the customer was looking for.
Right. Okay.
Be our customer.
Exactly. So
and I think that's a lot of it too. Is you almost have to gauge your customer and what they're looking for.
With
the paint being broken, you know, you kind of have to feel them out and make
conversation.
That call.
Yeah, our customer and us had the warranted for kind of just go ahead and saying that needed a body shop rather than our process.
All right. Sorry, guys. Here we go. Next one.
Shoo.
Ooh. Yeah. Even if I got a text message picture of that, it'd be.
Yeah. So, you know, I think I did ask both of you, and we all came to the conclusion that it wasn't fixable.
Yeah.
Too sharp there.
Especially and that crease. There were a couple other photos that were sent along with this one, and that crease, that initial point of impact, is super sharp, and the paint was already damaged. So we wanted to go ahead and say, you know what, this is going to need an auto body shop repaint rather than our process, due to it being a newer Cadillac SRX. There is access throughout that entire area.
Right.
Those vehicles. And loophole, I mean, there's a lot of that up. But you know that we didn't know that crease in the middle is really, really sharp, really, really deep.
Is that a high-strength steel panel? I know
I don't remember if it was quoted as high-strength steel or not, due to the year. I don't remember, but I believe it was say 14, 15 somewhere in. So I don't think it is.
Okay.
And that metal does push really, really well. Just with that damaged crease right in the middle, we went ahead and passed on it.
And if you look up there by the body line, there's a crown hidden all the way up there by the body line. So,
and that happens a lot with those quarter panels. Yeah. For some reason, when they're hit somewhere in that corner, that metal or that metal will move. It'll move all the way and crown up all the way up at the top. But there is great access in those cars.
I worked on a Hell car. They didn't push too bad at all.
No, not at all.
Let's see. All right. So hopefully you guys can see that one.
So
what kind of car is that?
It was a Nissan, I believe,
Looks like a Kia
or something like that. Maybe a Kia Soul, something like that.
Yeah.
And so I think I sent this one also to you guys. And so just judging by that initial wheel well there, we already had said no, because that is so far gone. I mean, to bring that back, it's going to kind of flop around on you. And then as you can see around the headlight as well.
I think that's worse than the
lip.
Pinch
right there. That pinch right there is really not going to allow that fender to really go back to its original form.
I mean, so it's probably pinched here,
yeah.
Here, obviously here, and then somewhere up here is probably another pinch. And just Kia metal is just not the best in my mind.
Correct.
It moves. It's like a tin can, so.
Yeah.
There is some strategies to get it, I think, about 80%. Do you think you can get that in about 80%?
Honestly, no, just be due to that headlight being pinched right there, right around that headlight. That then allows that entire fender to just kind of move freely.
Flop around, yeah.
And it won't give, I mean, there's going to be no strength within that panel.
Central Florida Dent Repair.
Well, something like this, what I would do is definitely either have two people or brace pretty much this side of the fender and also this side of the fender when I start pushing. Obviously, I will move this down.
You're gonna explain to a customer that, hey, look, this is what we think we can make it look like.
Yeah.
And that's where kind of we're drawing that line of, no, that is going to be way past the paintless dent repair process.
I think the other thing, I'm back to that educating the customer. So you're educating the customer of, in their brain, they want you to just pop the dent out.
The dent, correct.
And you also have to gauge on your end, is it a smart business decision to take on damage like this because it is a Kia? Are they going to spend that extra money for you to spend your extra time on that dent? So you also have to gauge. You also have to gauge that. Is it worth your time?
We're gauging. Can we even repair it? And honestly, the replacement cost of that particular panel with repaint is going to be the better option for the customer rather than trying to, like you said, spend the time on that to not yield a good result.
Yeah, definitely. We have, let's see, one more. Yeah, we have a couple more. All right. I think, Dave, you have this one. You this one also.
I remember that car, Dave.
Yeah. So there were a couple more photos with this as well. It seemed like putting a couple big super tabs on there, maybe a K-bar, or just really trying to start moving all of that. It was a very, very large dent. And
how did this dent occur? Did he tell you that?
He did. No, I don't remember. It was another vehicle that hit it, but I don't know exactly how it was. It was just, I think another car, hit it. But, I told him, I said, hey, look, we don't know if we're going to be able to actually repair this or not. It is high strength steel.
Yeah.
So that alone is going to go ahead and give us some issues, just it being so large of damage. There's such a large area of damage. So I said, hey, look, we will come out and try it. The customer didn't live too far from where we're out of. So we said we'd come out, we'd go ahead and try it, and they wouldn't be charged for it. I think we spent maybe a half hour on it, just trying to get a couple few initial pulls, and it wasn't really moving the way we wanted it to. So we went ahead and told the customer, hey, look, kind of like we thought from the beginning, it's going to need a body shop, but we wanted to come out and go ahead and try it for you. And that was it, so we only wasted about a half hour on it. We didn't charge the customer for it. And
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Now you may be able to sell this. Red, I know red pigment is very expensive. The color red, because the pigment is expensive, but how to make it. Also, you got the decal, and I believe to properly fix this, you have to remove the bed to actually paint around that the where the cab is. Is that correct? Does anybody know any of?
I do not
Sometimes they can run a line right at the cab. I mean, if they're putting a bedside on it, they were going to take the bed off. But a lot of guys, they don't take the bed off for one. A bunch of them, you know, the Fords are famous for breaking bed bolts. Chevy's not so bad. A lot of times they'll just tape a line right at the edge where the cab is.
Yeah. So in my experience, when you tape a line like that, you just with the debris and everything, it's just there's no way to. Yeah. They're just banking on people not keeping the car for long. But yeah, so they would need to take the bed off or probably replace that bed, which I would think is right around.
And there was access. There was access from the taillight and access from the wheel well.
Right.
Well, we're completely mobile. We don't carry porta power or anything like that. So we're at the mercy of the glue.
The glue,
and so,
yeah, it's pretty bad.
You know, and
it's buckled way up here too.
Yeah, it literally went from the top of the bed rail to the lower part of the entire bedside.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right, let's see what else we got. Let's get some fixable.
That high strength steel it didn't want to move.
Bedsides are so tough. Bedsides are so tough to fix.
You almost need like a sledgehammer. Let's see, we got one more. This is actually a unique one right here. Let's see. Did everybody see that?
Dent on the body line.
What kind of car is that, Dave? Sorry. Let me get this picture. Sorry, guys. Moving too fast. Let's see. All right. So that was on the body line, right?
Correct.
Whose phone?
It was on the body line, and I believe it was the rear door. It was the rear door of a Volkswagen.
Lower?
Lower.
That's pain in the butt, though.
So we ended up taking the door panel off of that, but it was completely fixable.
Mm-hmm.
What tool did you use?
I could not tell you.
What'd you do with this pit? This is actually like a.
That's from the
paint,
impact.
Right?
Yeah, that was from the impact. That was still there after.
So, right. Was there anything inside? Because it looks like almost the same thing, or maybe a little touch-up needs to go inside.
No, that ended up being all buffed out right there. It was just the stamp in that paint.
So right there, yeah. So I'm bringing this to you guys' attention. You know, sometimes you see the difference in the marking of the paint. I mean, that clearly looks like the stamp that you can see paint actually kind of moving away from it. But you need to explain to the customer what's going to be left after your repair. And this right here is, like you said, is just a stamping in the paint. I use an example of like a penny, and the stamping of the amount and all that stuff in there.
Yeah, I mean, and that was tough. It was very, very hard crowns on top of that body line there. It was really opening this up a lot and then going in with tool. A lot of heat and a lot of rubber.
Yes, I'm gonna give you one more, guys. This is the one I've worked on. It is fixable. Let's see. Actually, two more.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 days. That's an aluminum panel. Yeah. Waved all the way over here. You can see it's wavy all the way over here.
You underestimated that one.
Definitely. This
the hardest part was the aluminum part. I mean, the aluminum moving.
Just did not move. When it moved, it came right back in. I would knock down here, like try to blend here, and it will sink in the entire dent.
Yep.
It was driving me crazy. But there's nothing I could do. Absolutely nothing I can do. Let me see. We have another one here. Yep. Let's get this other one rolling. I don't even know if maybe I don't have a video of this thing. I think I do have a video. I don't know. I think I recorded it or didn't record it. No, I didn't record it because I was just like, let me get this thing done and keep it moving. But a new deck lid on this is $2,200 plus paint.
That's crazy.
So the reason why I was able to seal this deal up was that was their only option. It was like $2,800 to get this replaced. So you know, we were definitely above. I don't like to give prices, but we were definitely well above $1,500 for this repair. And it took me 2 days to do so. And then we have the nice thumbnail picture that we have. And where we go here? Let's see. There we go. So,
yeah.
I did not fix this. I kicked this. Sorry. The gentleman was adamant about me trying, and I had to stand my ground. I think if I was a new tech, I would probably waste my time. But on this one,
that bottom body line being so gone. Yeah,
it's gone.
Bottom. Yeah.
It doesn't even line up. It's pushed in about another inch.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get a tool anywhere from here down.
Nope.
And it's mangled. And you can see and this is the sharpest part of the dent right here, which buckled kind of pitched in the inside. What'd you say, Ryan?
I said that edge is in too.
Yeah.
It looks like in the door jamb.
Yeah. The door. This whole thing needs a quarter pound. I mean, look how tight it is here.
Yeah.
Compared to here. But the whole thing needs a quarter pound on this guy. Just would not. Just try it. No.
That's the worst.
Yeah, and then the gas door. But if I would have had to try it, this would be the gas door going in this way, and then just hoping and praying. But you know, to give a quote out of something like this, you know, he would be well over $1,500 for me to work on it. So.
And David's asking, do you tell them you'll do the best, or can you give them the percentage of what it would come out?
I don't want me personally. I don't like to give percentages. If we can fix it, then we're going to go ahead and say we can fix it.
Yeah.
If we can't fix it, or we're in the process of, and you know, it's turning out that it's not going to be fixable, they don't get charged. It's just a business decision we usually make. But no, we're not gonna try to do a best as possible, at least for retail. If it's at a body shop, that's going to be a completely different story. Can you know, pull on it a little bit so they can, you know, go ahead and come in and skim it or something like that. But at least for a retail customer, we won't give percentages or try to make stuff look better, because their definition of looking better is going to be completely different from what ours is.
And I think you have to read the customer.
Yeah. They have to understand, you know, the outcome and what they're getting. I think with this customer, his main focus was hiding this from his mom, I guess. I don't know, but it seemed like he needed it done today, now, and he'll kind of pay whatever. But I just couldn't do it. For one, I couldn't do it today because his appointment was only a 2-hour window, and he did not want to send pictures.
But just the severity of that damage isn't going to warrant anything. I mean,
right.
The amount of money that you're going to pay us isn't.
It's still not going to be perfect. Your mom's still going to see it.
Right.
Right. Yeah. And then, you know, as a company, we're going to take that.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to take on that, you know, issue that the customer's having, which isn't in the first place. If we're just kind of, you know what, that the proper way to go ahead and fix that is going to be a body shop.
And if there's a dude in town that's fixing that, he can have it.
Yeah.
Very well.
The customer alone, the way he wanted his, you know, wanted it done today and this, that, he didn't care. It was actually paper tags on the car, so I don't know if it was his car or not. I don't know, but
I get a lot of rental cars. I don't know if it's because I'm close to the airport. A lot of guys that have issues with rental cars will call. I need it fixed today before 12, or you know, it's a rental car turn in. So you do get a lot of those customers that want it done today, and
And we need photos. We need photos, and if we're able to go ahead and repair it. But a lot of times it's damage like that. They've sideswiped something. They've wrecked something. Or
they're not calling you about
something.
a ding.
Correct.
Well, before we open up the chat, I see you got some questions here, guys. We want to make sure that you guys get the ample amount of time to ask us questions. But let's go over some recap. I think a lot of times when we are, deciding whether these dents are repairable, it's not only size, it's, any pinched areas, even the types of metal, even, and accessibility, as you can see. So it's size only plays, I think, about a 50% role, and then the other 50% is broke down in a bunch of other factors. Actually, maybe size is not too much of an issue, because almost every day that it's really location and the metal that you used and when that damage happened. What other areas were impacted that cannot be PDR. PDR. In that fender that Dave showed, that light socket is probably broken, or the light itself, ears are broken off of it. We don't fix that. We're not going to glue the ears of the light together and make sure that the light lines up.
Yeah, you need a body shop. That's what a body shop is there to do. We're kind of the first line of offense, or that's what I tell a lot of my customers. We're the first line of offense before the body shop. If we are able to repair it, it's going to be awesome, but sometimes we can't. And we still need to work with the body shops, and you know what? We do work with a bunch of reputable ones in the area. Here you go. And then that kind of goes back to our previous episodes with giving value to the body shops.
Correct.
We're out here promoting them as well, because we're passing on stuff that we can't do. Hey, we have a couple shops here. These are the ones that we work closely with, and that shop's going to like you and your company a whole lot better because you're giving them work as much as they're giving you work.
I agree with straight lines. Like in my company, if you can't get it pretty much 100%, or I would say about 95%, then just don't do it. So as a technician, or my technicians will say, this job is for one of our master techs. Unfortunately, you have to reschedule, or whatever the case may be, if we don't want to lose the job. But most of the time, I'm available, and I can just swing over there and take care of the work, and the customer really doesn't even know. But yeah, definitely, I'm with you, because now if the customer doesn't see it, they may have a brother that may be a detailer or a bodyman or something like that, and I try to create, my customers are advocates for my company. So if they're bragging about us, and then they go, let me see this, which door did they fix? Yeah. And just like a lot of body shops, they say,
quality control.
I can tell.
That's quality control for your company. You're setting standards for your company. And which company did that? Oh, it was that one. Oh, we used another one before, and we didn't have such a good experience. So
I noticed that you got to be careful with referrals. So I tell customers, do you have a body shop that you feel comfortable with? Because it may be a body shop that they've used in the past, and they just possibly like the communication more so than the work. They just never noticed the work. And I just say, hey, just go back to them. They'll write you an estimate, and pick and choose. Even when the price, like for that fender, if it wasn't as much damage and it was a $500 fender, I would probably tell the customer, listen, you may want to get a second opinion, because we're getting really close to what it costs to conventionally repair this. It may even be cheaper for you. We can do it in a day. I'll give them all the benefits, keep that original pay. 9 times out of 10, people would like that type of car, the Kia. They just want the cheapest price. So I recommend them getting a second opinion. And they normally come back because of the time, but that's why they're there. So they're back for my value, which is time, not for the cheapest plate, cheapest in town. Because a lot of times you get a customer and it's because you're the cheapest. They sent me over here, and because we thought it'd be, it's a small dent, it's cheap. So, but we want to open up the chat. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask them now. Got about 10 minutes before we wrap this up. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button if you're in the live stream, or if you're watching later. And I did leave a link to subscribe to our newsletter. Go ahead and subscribe. You'll get updates on, like I said, industry news, some MTE. Hopefully we'll work out some discounts, some random 1 week discounts for tools. Maybe even I don't know who owns the Reaper. Dave knows much information about it, so maybe be David. But maybe we can get him to do a promotion for us on our newsletter. But go ahead and sign up for that, guys. And if you got any questions, the floor is yours. Any questions in the?
Doesn't look like it.
Let's see. We're talking about Dent
Make sure you
Reaper.
book your stuff for MTE. Like I said, the hotels are a little pricey this year. It's at a different location, so get your stuff booked.
And we're gonna probably have another workshop class coming up soon, probably in October. So we're gonna try to roll out some other ones. But for right now, we're gonna probably just do another workshop. Someone needs to mute their phone. Good Lord. It's like right in the mic. Can you hear me?
You looking at me?
I'm looking right at you. All right. Wait on the sucky light to slide down the wall. There you go. There it is right there. That's no suction back. Doesn't need it. That's 2 pumps. Let's see how easy it is to take off. Nope.
Now is that like a wood paneling or is it drywall?
Actually, this is wood paneling that I painted over, so it's basically just like drywall. It's. I mean, I can stick it to the table. I can stick it anywhere. I can stick it to the screen. You let me know. And the only thing I don't like about it is I was getting those suction cups. Well, not the only thing, but one of the things that I may have a problem with is that I was getting the suction cups off of Amazon, the one that you have. Well, not that you have now, but the old ones.
Yeah.
I've never seen the suction cup. So it was just a Ram, I believe, suction cup or whatever. I've never seen those. So unfortunately, I probably have to go through Stucky to get the suction cup if there's any problem. I've been using this light for now about maybe 5 weeks. And, you know, I'll tell you, it comes off easy, but I'll tell you, this always, the little filter has always been gone after like the first week of those little Ram suction cups. But so far, it's been there. So there you go. It's on the table now.
And he actually makes a film. If you like the really heavy fog, he makes a film that goes on that lens that gives you a heavy fog to it. So you do have that option. It's almost like a sticker.
So David says, so if the customer is thrilled with 90% on something, will you guys still do it? I don't know. I guess the best, you want to go ahead?
I just said if we can't fix it 100, if we can fix it, we'll do it. If we're not confident that we can, we'll pass on it.
Like I said, I think 90-95% is a safe bet.
I think our 90-95% is completely different from a customer's 90-95%.
I think it's okay once you start getting to that 85, 80, way 70. I mean, you're starting to just.
But your 70, my 70, and Ryan's 70 are going to be all completely different.
True.
And that's where the issue comes in with someone else's expectations and then our expectations, or vice versa. You know what I mean? Or vice versa.
So Straight Lines asks, do you guys use the hot box? Can you
I do not.
Stress metal with it?
I
do not. But what is that? Pro PDR Pro box? What is the thing? PDR box?
PDR, the Dent box or something?
Yeah.
I have 0 boxes.
It's all by hand, right? So what is this thing called? The hot box? No, it's not the hot box. It's the PDR box.
PDR box. It's the same concept.
Not the hot box, right?
It's totally different.
Totally different.
Same concept, though, right? It's a box that's moving metal.
Well, it's electric.
Yeah.
And so hot box is like a hot box
or something.
It's a German-made tool that you can use on the surface. You hold the button and it inducts the heat and activity. The new one out is like this. You have to grind the underside of the panel and rub the metal wand on.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I remember seeing a video.
Yeah. So that does shrink metal though, and I wish I had that because there was a dent that I probably
heat induction. Rick is on it.
Yeah,
Rick is on it. And I get updates from Mr. PDR, Joe. He bought one because he's still in some terrible hail up there, and I don't know if he's in northern Pennsylvania or New York. Some terrible, terrible, nasty stretch stuff. So he says it's worth every dollar.
The hot box or the
dent box or whatever.
The dent box. Okay. Yeah. The only thing about the dent box, guys, is you have to get to the back side of the dent with pretty much like a stick welder, and you have to grind down the protecting undercoating of the metal. So you got to make sure you reapply that also. But so if you can't get behind it, there's a decent sized brace, you pretty much are stuck. It only works out in the middle of open panels. This is looking back, what would be your guys' most important advice to yourself when you had first begun?
Networking.
That's a good one.
Tighten your network up.
Dave?
I like that. I like what Ryan just said too. That is nice. Advice to myself when first starting again.
Yeah.
I would have challenged myself a lot sooner.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that one.
100%.
100%.
I would have started challenging myself a lot sooner.
I would have put myself in a ring with wolves. Day 2.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing the that. I was cherry picking for the first 3 years. I think that cost me a lot of time.
I didn't do that. It was just something internally that where I just kind of started started doing bigger things. It was just a personal challenge for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish that would have came up a little sooner. But it's, I think it's just part of the process of becoming a paintless dent repair tech.
I think the industry's changed from when I started to what it is now. We just weren't fixing this stuff. There was nobody in town fixing the stuff that Bryce Kelly's stuff, some of the stuff Dave and Chris are fixing. We weren't fixing that stuff. No way. Send it to a body shop.
Right.
But competition was very slow. When I was with the Wiz, we were the only game in town. So.
And a lot of places, it's still like that.
Yes.
And there is room for growth. And that's why, if I were to give advice to myself, I would have really paid attention to fixing the smaller things 100%. I really honed in on that, and then trying to do that with bigger, deeper, a lot faster.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's what I'd give to myself.
That was a great question. Great question. Straight Lines Quick. He says, "Why do you guys use the hot box?" Oh no, I'm sorry, I'm reading the wrong one. He says, "Why don't we use the hot box?"
We're completely mobile, so setting up just power a lot of times is hard. Trying to find power for us is hard.
It's a very finicky tool too. You have to watch the colors of the paint. Sometimes they burn fairly easy. So, for me, and it's a true time thing for me.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of times where I still go to my tools first rather than glue.
Mm-hmm.
I like being in control with the tool.
Yeah.
Instead of being at the mercy of glue.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I personally don't think it works how it's advertised. Mm-hmm. The nice thing, and I applaud Ultra Dent Tools. I think they had theirs set up, and a few other companies had it set up at MTE. And this is the reason why, if you guys haven't been, you need to go. You can actually play around with it. You can knock a decent sized dent and see what happens. It can barely take out the pea-sized shallow dents. And when it does, you still got to go to your knockdown hammer and blend it in. Those pea-sized dents, if it was on a roof or a hood, I can blaze through a hood with that type of damage. So I got to be focused on cord. Also got to have my blending hammer with me. I'm pretty sure you guys, when you're doing a pea-sized, small dime-sized dent, you're just pushing. you're rarely knocking down.
I feel like you're adding more risk to for something to go wrong. Yeah, and if you're really not honed in and paying attention to that, especially when you are in the middle of a repair and you have customers talking to you, you're in a dealership, you're at a body shop, you take your eyes off of what you're doing for a couple seconds and you can really mess some stuff up.
Oh yeah.
So I just think there's us being mobile and then just kind of adding risk to an already kind of risky industry or craft. I'd rather not leave that room for error.
Sounds like it.
That's it.
Yeah. All right.
All right, guys. Thanks for another show, episode 30.
Definitely.
We're gonna go wrap it up.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate everybody for coming. You guys want to close out?
Ryan, RPS Dent Repair on every social platform you can do. Check us out. YouTube.
Dave Winnie City Dent Repair. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram.
Now, Ryan, you're building a car for SEMA. Do you want to share the Instagram for that?
I am. It's OG_Civic. It was a car that I built. I don't know. It was at SEMA 2005, and it's been in storage. And I had some sponsors asking about it and brought it back out. So we've been in the middle of that build.
Orange in the back. Right?
It's been a little old. That's an old dash over here that was in the quarter glasses. I got stuff all over the place. So, check it out. It's constant, build photos throughout it. So check it out. We got some good companies on board.
Go ahead and put that Instagram if you can on the chat. I know you spell it differently.
Yep.
All right, guys. Chris at Dentless Touch, and we are going to see you guys next week.
See ya.
Peace out. Thanks, guys.